It's been a whole year since I've been able to tend to my garden. There are two reasons why I haven't been able to get out there and get started in the garden. First reason is that I've just been struggling, knowing that I am so far behind. Every time I walk through the garden to take out the trash, because I pass through there time and time again, taking the trash out, and I just look at it and get overwhelmed and think about all the things that I know that I need to do to be able to get this abandoned, neglected garden or mess of a garden to where it needs to be so that it can produce another abundance of food for me and my family to enjoy. The fact that I've got so much to do and that it's so overwhelming, rather than doing something, I just go back in the house, plop myself down on the couch, and start binge watching shows on TV like His and Hers on Netflix. And that's where I've been spending my time instead of getting out in the garden. I've been doing something else that just makes me feel better at the time. Meanwhile, my garden time is just passing by, and I just end up getting further and further behind in what I need to do. The second reason that I've been struggling so hard to get out there in the garden and get things done is that the person who passed away was tied to me gardening. That was our connection. The one that would always call me at the beginning of every season and ask me if I was getting ready for the garden and what I was planning to grow for the season that year. And he'd always ask me, "Are you growing melons this year?" And I would say, "No, I don't know if I can do that or not." And he would always say, "I think you can, you just have to start early." So that's what happened a couple of years ago. I didn't talk to him much throughout the year, but early in the season, he would always call me like clockwork and ask me if I was getting ready to start the garden for that year. And it's just gonna be kind of odd this year because I missed that call this year. I'm sorry, but I realize that even though he's not here to make that call anymore, that we are still together and he will still be with me in the garden. And I'm sorry, but in the back of my mind, I can feel him saying, "What are you doing this year? Are you going to grow anything this year? What are you going to grow?" So I'm determined that this year I'm going to revive it and I'm going to make him proud. Um, yeah, those are my plans and get it in the best shape that I can. It's just so hard when you lose someone that you're used to doing habits with at specific times, and then when those times roll around, you realize that that's not going to happen anymore because they're not there. And it just leaves a void because if you continue to do those things every time you do them, you're reminded that they're not there anymore. So, because we always had the garden that we always talked about, when he would tell me stories of how he was from South Alabama, and even growing up as a kid, that he would always work the garden and growing melons and watermelons and all sorts of foods, and he would give me tips and pointers on things that I could do to grow some of those things in my own garden. And he was just such an inspiration to me for that. So yeah, you hold those special memories with people, whether it's going to a movie or going to a game. You don't want to stop doing those things. You want to keep doing those things as an honor and remembrance of that person. And that's my motivation for 2026 for this garden, to revive it and make it into the best that I could possibly make it in. And I may not be able to do it in one season. And I realize that because I have a lot to do. But I look forward to doing it, and I look forward to making him proud. And I know that every time I step foot in that garden, that he's going to be there with me, encouraging me, and probably whispering tips in my ears. But I'll always remember the tips that he gave to me. And I'm sorry, I said I wasn't going to get emotional. I said I wasn't going to cry. It's just still fairly new in my mind, and I know it's going to take some time. But I hope that the garden will bring me a sense of peace and enjoyment and happiness as I remember him in every step that I take with the garden. And I'm thankful to all of my best friends out there who are on this journey with me, for your support, your encouragement, and your kind words. You mean so much to me, and I'm so thankful to have you in the garden with me. A friend of mine told me that I should think about not focusing on what I've lost or not focusing on what I'm missing in relation to the garden, and instead focus on the good memories that I have about the garden and use that in giving me motivation to help me move forward. The family decided we'd take a trip to kind of get away and reset our minds and just to do something to uplift our spirits. So we took a trip, and while we were on that trip, I decided I would go to the beach. Y'all, let me tell you, when I got to the beach, it was like, even though I was trying to be happy about the trip and laughing and smiling and participating in the group activities, when I got to the beach, it was dark, it was cloudy, and it was about to rain. And it was like the universe knew that even though I was laughing and smiling on the outside, that I was still feeling pain on the inside. So I couldn't even enjoy the beach. I wasn't even out there maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes at the most before I had to turn around and go back because the bottom literally fell out. But the trip went on, and we still had a good time as a family. But y'all, let me tell you when things turned around. Now, mind you, I told you I had not been in the garden that much. And before we went on the trip, I didn't come out here and I didn't check on things to see how things were going. But when I got home, oh my goodness, it was like for the first time ever since gardening, I felt really connected to my garden, because when I walked out here, all of these dry things that you see everywhere, and I left them here because of what they reminded to me, and I haven't removed them yet because I wanted to tell you about it first. But when I came home, I didn't plant any of these flowers, but the garden was filled with beautiful flowers everywhere. And I felt like the garden was saying to me, you may be going through some things, but even though you're going through some things, there are still some good things in your life. There is still beauty in your life. You can still have the garden that you want. You can still bring beauty to your life and the lives of others. We're here for you, and we love you. Oh my goodness. To be able to come home and see all of this beauty growing in the garden on its own without me planting it, without me watering it. And it's so funny because even now, if you look around, there are still a few green things growing in the garden, and we're near the end of February. And I am just still amazed because I have not come out here and done anything. I haven't watered anything. I haven't de-weeded anything. I haven't fertilized anything. But there are still signs of life in the garden. That's just amazing to me. And because of that, I feel revived. I feel renewed. is so much joy and peace. It's amazing to me. 2026 is gonna be a better year. We're gonna get back out here. We're gonna reconnect with our best friends. And in 2026, we're gonna have some happy gardening and we're gonna have a good time. So come on, friends. Let's go. The sun is coming out. I am going to keep hope alive for my garden this 2026 season. Oh yeah, I have all of the encouragement in the world that we can revive this old dead garden. So come along on this journey. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and be here for the next video when we take our very first step in our 2026 gardening season. Happy gardening!